Welcome to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast series. Here we talk about all things franchising. What is it all about? Is it for you? How do you find the best one to own? And so much more. Now your host, Tim Parmeter.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the latest edition of FranCoach's Franchising 101 series. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach, and your Franchising 101 host. Today, we are going to be joined by an absolutely amazing couple. They are going to talk to you about their journey from corporate America to not know anything about franchising to becoming multi-unit franchise owners. Plus, they're just awesome to talk to and listen to. So very excited to have them on board and chatting with us today. But first, before we get to them, let's do a little refresher on who we are. FranCoach is a national search firm dedicated to working with individuals like yourself who are interested in owning a franchise. We are partnered with well over 500 of the top franchisors in the country, and that spans nearly 60 industries. Our goal is to help our clients find the absolute best franchise for them to own. And our goal of the Franchising 101 series is to help educate people on all aspects of franchise ownership. Okay, so that is a bit about us. And now let's get to our guests. They are waiting anxiously to battle each other for airtime. So joining us today from the wonderful city of Pittsburgh, PA, which I don't know if anybody's ever referred to Pittsburgh as wonderful, but we've got it recorded here today. Jeff and Julie Thomas. Jeff and Julie, thank you guys for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us. Excited.
Yeah.
Jeff, this is the first time I've seen Julie, like all of a sudden she got a little shy there for a second. First and last. I was just
waiting for you to play the clap track in the background for us, but
no, we edit that in. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, totally. So let me make note, edit that in. Got it. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been as maybe anybody listening can already tell, this has been just a fun experience over the last couple of months with you guys and getting to know you. And thanks for joining us today. As mentioned, you guys were podcast listeners, then FranCoach clients, and now your 15 minutes of fame as guests on the show. Give us a little background on Jeff and Julie and what kind of got you guys even looking at franchising.
Joel, do you want to start?
Sure. So to be totally honest, what got us started here is Jeff and I are both miserable in our day-to-day jobs. So
let's hope they're not listening.
Well, who knows that? Who says Julie Thomas isn't an alias? With how creative it is. So we just, we're not happy with our regular corporate jobs. We've both been working for a long time and kind of got to the point where we just both had enough. And the stars kind of aligned one day for us back in November of 2021. Yeah, that's when it was. So, and then I was approached actually by a different franchise broker about a couple different franchises. And I thought, well, Jeff nor I know how to start a business because there's a lot of red tape around that. So I thought, well, maybe if we approach it from a franchise perspective, we can get a little bit more guidance. So we kind of started down that path, looking at a couple different franchises, like I mentioned, with a different franchise broker. And then one infamous weekend, we drove to Michigan, and on the way home, our real franchise journey started. And I'll let Jeff take over from here.
Sure. So, so anyway, Julie went out and started the conversations with a franchise broker, and we were very early in those conversations in like this discovery period. And I wanted to learn more about it. So on the way home from Detroit, we found this podcast, and I literally listened to it for about 3 or 4 hours on the whole drive home. So even though we had kind of started down the path and had a conversation with another broker, I really liked what I heard on this podcast and talked to Julie about it. And that's when we reached out to you, Tim, and started really kind of started our journey from there.
That's all. The amazing thing is 3 hours of listening to this and you didn't swerve into oncoming traffic. So that's a good sign. And it's also more time than anyone that is actually related to me or married to me would ever listen to as well. So very, very cool. Well, no, and cool. And then I know we got connected and started looking at some things, and you were going down kind of various paths, and Giz did a fantastic job with the due diligence. Talk about some of the things that you learned in the process that were kind of differentiators that led you to the ultimate choice that you guys made.
Yeah. So, really to your, and I know you've mentioned it on a bunch of the other podcasts, but it does become very clear at the end which one's the right one for you. You might go into it with one intention and you'll come out of it with a completely opposite direction. Right. So, and what I mean by that is when Julie and I started this, the number one item on our list for choosing a franchise, it was how much money could we make? Right. I think a lot of people go into it with that probably. So as we started to explore everything, and one that was the first qualifier, that financial qualifier. And then we found, okay, well, all of these, we had 4 and these three franchises can meet our financial needs. So then from there, now you start to differentiate them. Some, I remember, eliminating one because they were very when all of our conversations with them, although they were really nice people and everything, they were much more corporate. And Julie and I wanted to get away from corporate, so we cut that one out. And then finally, it kind of for me, and I think I got there a little bit quicker than Julie, was I the one we ended up going with. I kind of chose pretty early, and really it just came down to the fact that, hey, this one might not make as much money as the other one that we're comparing against or have the opportunity to, but this one just seems more fun. And it still meets the financial qualifications that we had set. And look, if it's going to meet our financial needs, why not go with the one that's just going to be more fun and I'm going to enjoy more? So that's kind of where I got to for picking the one that we went with. Joel, how about you? What was your thoughts? Or what are your thoughts?
Ditto. No, I'm kidding. It was the same thing. Jeff and I were very analytical in looking at this. I think we tried to really remove our emotions from it. And, we wanted to make a good, solid decision that was going to be what was going to be best for our family. So, we looked at everything from, a hair cutting place to a chiropractor to pet training and literally everything in between. So it wasn't as much about the industry as much as it was, we recognize this isn't going to start right away and, be super, super profitable where it can replace both of our incomes on day one. So we know that we're going to need to work for probably another year or two, hopefully less than more. But, we were able to kind of narrow it down to what we thought was going to be able to replace our incomes quicker, get up to speed faster, and just become profitable sooner. So we could really move on from the jobs that neither one of us really care to be in. And, so we can continue to do the things we love that, spend time with our kids and our family and our friends and all of that stuff. So, it was, just a series of visits and calls and lots of validation calls. We took them all very seriously. And I think we tried to ask similar questions in all of the validations so that we were really comparing apples to apples. I had a pretty pretty sweet spreadsheet set up with all of, the prices and the, notes for all of the different companies. And it did end up becoming very clear. I mean, for me, I was very truly on the fence between our final two. And it was more so just about my passion personally versus my passion professionally. And I'm so conditioned to following my passion professionally when it comes to your income, that's where my head was going towards until we really dug into, the majority of the details. And then at the very last minute, we found that it just wasn't going to meet our financial needs in the early stages. So all other things created equal, we didn't want to lose a bunch of money in the beginning. And I think we would have with the other companies. So, we made the decision based on that. And I mean, we're ecstatic. And now we get to start the fun part, which is actually starting a business. So
yeah,
we're on our way.
Nice. No, and you guys did an amazing job of just the openness throughout the process. And it's easy to try to make a snap decision, and it's really not. It's and Jeff, you mentioned this, I say this to everybody, like eventually at the end, it just becomes clear, and it sounds so ridiculous. Everybody rolls their eyes, shakes their head. What is this dude talking about? This is huge. I have to make a decision. No, you don't. And you guys got there. And at the end, it's the anti-corporate, right? It's what do you really want to do? What's going to make you happy? The money at that point will come. And Julie, like you said, it's the time, it's the lifestyle, it's your kiddos, your two-legged ones, your four-legged ones that we see behind you, that I really want to say the word TREATS, just this like TREAT. Yeah. So
careful, they can spell now these days. These dogs can't.
That's trouble. So speaking of the little, one of them.
See, look at what you did now.
So speaking of the adorable four-legged ones back there, tell us what franchise you guys started.
So we are going with Zoom Room. So it is a dog training and agility and / socialization franchise. So they do everything from like puppy training and different levels of that, obedience training, service dog certification, the agility training where the dogs go through like the obstacle course. And then they do some fun things too, like dog birthday parties and things like that.
Yeah. And awesome, like elevator pitch right off the bat, Jeff. So good job. So
he's been practicing at home.
Yeah. Staring in the mirror, like, so but it's harder than I think people realize, right? Is so what that is. So, and you said something about fun, or I mean, like, Zoom Room is an incredibly fun environment for the dogs. You guys are dog owners. We had another couple, and I know you guys validated with one of them. They literally don't have dogs, right, and own Zoom Room, so you don't have to, right? It helps that you, like, you can't hate dogs, I guess, right? But your jobs as owners, right? You're not the ones in there working with the dogs. You're building, like you guys said, like that fun culture, the team and the environment. And really, I think some of the things core for you guys is just when you're genuinely good people, you want a quality service, build those long-term happy customers, and Zoom Room nails all of that stuff for you guys, right? So I know that those were some of the big things. We all want to make money, right? That's easy, but you guys are, as you mentioned, miserable in your corporate jobs. Let's not have a business that makes us miserable. Let's have it be, again, like, I think we are conditioned to think, it's a job, right? Like we can work professionally and have fun. And I'm so excited for you guys to be able to get on this journey. And I know it'll take a little time to obviously get open and get out of those jobs, no matter how bad you want it to be, like 5 minutes from now, that you're done. But that's cool. What were some of the other things, I guess, maybe you kind of found throughout the process that was helpful, or anything else kind of like with Zoom Room that really stood out for you guys?
The process thing for me that was really helpful, and honestly, Tim, compliments to you, just making it easy to have conversations. And I know that there were a handful of times we probably had some difficult conversations, right? So, for example, we kind of mentioned earlier that we had started working with another franchise broker, and actually one of the last two franchises we had, between Zoom Room and this other one, was from the other franchise broker, just being able to have honest, transparent conversations with you certainly really helped, and I definitely recommend that to anybody else out there, whether they're working with you or anybody else. Just be transparent in what you want and what you're thinking, because it's going to help get you to where you need to be at the end.
Yeah. And I think too, if I can just add to that, be truly open through the whole process, because anybody listening doesn't know Jeff and I personally, but I mean, we both have pretty substantial jobs that are, demanding corporate jobs. We've been very fortunate financially in our lives. And so we never thought, who could make a living training dogs? People would be nuts. My mom still doesn't think we can make a living training dogs. It's something that you might dismiss early on, or you might think there's no way. Well, there is a way. You just have to go into it with both eyes open, and really truly look at things objectively, and, answer, early on. You're going to do a survey. If you work with, any kind of decent franchise coach, they're going to ask you some difficult questions about what you want to do. And you got to answer them honestly, so they can really position the right franchises for you to go consider. And then once you have those, you have to be honest with yourself and be completely open to the process. I remember, Tim, you said that to us early on, be open. And I think Jeff and I have always consistently been objective in anything that we do, not just with this. But that was really helpful, because although probably in the earliest stages of this, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I would love to go with Zoom Room. How fun would that be? But then as we started talking through it, I was like, there's just no way that we can make enough money training dogs.
Right.
But, you get down to it, listen to the people, ask the right questions, you can. And the proof is in the pudding. You can read it. It's all there in the FDDs. Yeah. And you can't make that stuff up. So people are doing it every day.
Yeah. And really the thing is, I think with any franchise, and you guys have been hugely successful and have done well for yourself, which is awesome. But you can make however much money you want with any franchise. It's, again, if you're looking at this, oh man, it's I know everybody else in that franchise is making money, but we would hate it. Well, you'll never get there. You'll be just like you are now, only it's your own business. And crap, I just invested all this money to be miserable. That's not I could have kept the job for that. Right. And you can, again, because you can always build it out and scale. And you guys are looking at ultimately doing three locations, right, of Zoom Room in Pittsburgh. And then who knows from there, right? We may be talking a couple of years from now, and you're like, okay, those three are up. What's next? And that empire builder mentality, and really, it's the last thing I always say is it's an incredibly personalized and individualized process. What's best for you guys? Somebody out there may be like, I hate dogs. Well, okay, well, one, you don't have to love them. You kind of do with this, but it's okay to look at something else. The other one that you guys looked at really hard. We have other clients that are at the final stages of just that one. That's going to be the thing for them. That's okay. And really, I think all the ones that we looked at, right, are things that you could look at and go, man, there's people in those franchises that love it, meeting their goals, super happy, making a killing. just wasn't the right fit for you. And without that openness you guys brought to the table, like this stuff doesn't work. So, so no, cool. So you guys are just kind of getting everything finalized, right? And we'll be looking to open maybe by the end of the year. Like we were looking at like a 3,500 square foot location, right? For Zoom room. We got to go get, and that's kind of the fun part, right? Now go find it, get it all built out, fun, scary, all of those things. But I know you guys are excited to get rolling with that.
More fun than scary. We have a lot of resources and connections that we're realizing as we're thinking through a lot of the steps that are going to lead up to opening. And so, we're just ready to get started. And, my only advice for anyone considering to do this would be to keep in mind that you're probably really going to lose interest in your full-time job pretty quickly. Because Jeff nor I want to go to work. All we want to do is work on the business and get it started. And I mean, it's an exciting adventure that we don't get to have in our corporate lives. So, we're excited to just get going. But yeah, we're at the infancy. And as we progress through this, we're happy to provide as many updates as you'd like. If we get one listen to this podcast, maybe we won't provide any more, but
yeah, this is guaranteed to get tens of downloads. So it's all good. So
3 downloads for sure, at least.
Well, 2, I don't listen to the stuff. So I know I'm full of crap. I don't want to listen to myself. So and Julie, you just kind of hit my last question that I was going to ask you both is kind of what else would you guys want to share? Right? You guys were in the exact same position a few months ago. Like, is this for us? Is it not? How do we figure it out? And what else would you want to share? Somebody sitting there in the same spot as you, listen to this. What other things would you share with them?
I've got a couple. One, first off, I'd mentioned we kind of had, I know it's non-traditional, but we had like 2 franchise brokers. One, I highly recommend find somebody that is that's like you, Tim. Tim, you met with us weekly or more as often as was needed to help keep us on track. Make sure that, hey, we're doing the right things. Our thought processes are in the right spot, all of that stuff. I mean, you were a true coach. The other guy didn't do so much of that. So I'd recommend to anybody who finds a franchise coach to find somebody that's actually going to truly coach you through the process. It was extremely, extremely helpful. To Julie's point, yeah, you're probably going to lose interest in your job pretty quickly. So do right. So
be prepared.
Yeah. And the other part too is there are always going to be points where you're just going to get a little bit of like apprehension or concern or like the butterflies in your stomach. I know that most recently happened to me when we moved some money out of our IRAs for our franchise fee. And that's when it was like, you had the, this is real. Yeah. So I think I even commented to Julie, I said, okay, so with this, we are either going to be able to quit our jobs really early, or we're each going to have to work an extra 10 years. But ultimately what I'm getting at is, when we get there, Julie and I have had this conversation multiple times, is that like, we're betting and banking on ourselves. Right. So that's what's kind of cool about this is, with a franchise, the processes, the procedures, the help and the support are all there. You just got to follow the process and trust yourself. And then if you have questions, reach out, because there are people there to help you. So I think that's the other big thing. So and I guess finally too, I mean, if you're just even thinking about it, then, find a franchise coach and have the conversation. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, and always like there's literally no fee. It's just a little bit of time, and who knows, you might end up on the world famous Franchising 101 podcast as a guest someday. So, I mean, what else really in life is to check the bucket list is complete. So, no,
we'll see after to sign autographs, Tim.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So, no, and Jeff, you're the last thing. Like you're betting on yourself, right? The one thing, and you guys have said it. Basically, everybody says when we first talk to them, why look at a franchise? Why exit the corporate job? And it's control, right? It's control over your time, what you do day in, day out, how you build it, grow it. Well, you guys got amazing little kids you want to be able to see and do things with. That you are now going to be 100% in control of it. You guys have been successful at everything you've done. You're going to be successful moving forward, right? And you guys are going to again, just it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you guys and be a part of this journey. There is no doubt you guys are going to be hugely successful, and it wouldn't surprise me if this ends up being not the only thing you guys own down the road as you build your empire. So really good. Thank you guys so much for just again, getting to know you, having the opportunity to work through this journey, but coming on today and kind of sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
No, this is awesome.
Thanks for having us. This is fun.
Awesome.
Anytime we get to harass you a little bit, as always.
Yeah, no, there's a long line for that. So, and then we'll work on our travel plans to Pittsburgh for the grand opening. Unless it's in the winter, and then I'm coming in the spring. So, but we'll definitely be there. So, guys, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to getting you back here maybe once things get open, and maybe we'll do a little tour of Zoom room in Pittsburgh. So thank you guys.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Thank
Tim.
you.
And for all of our loyal podcast listeners, we hope the Franchising 101 series continues to provide insight into the amazing possibilities that can be achieved as a franchise owner. This is episode number 99. You're never going to believe what episode comes next. It's 100. Not that the first 99 haven't been amazing. Most of them have probably been pretty good. 100 is going to be totally different. I've got a couple guests, a little bit of a different format, but some of it's been requested by numerous people. It's kind of a topic to talk about. So we're going to do that. Balloons, streamers, champagne, Diet Coke, cake, something. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff. So be sure to tune in. That'll drop on June 9th. And just in general, you've been listening this long. You've got some interest in franchise ownership. As we talk about, there's never any fee for our service. Reach out to us, FranCoach.net, franchising101podcast.net. Those are our websites. Send us a message. Let's get that first call set up. And let's help you get educated about franchise ownership, and help you take that first step towards being able to create your better tomorrow. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast, where our ultimate goal is to help educate you on all things franchising so you can create your better tomorrow.